Good morning. It's just wonderful to see all of you. My name is Sue Hargraves, and I'm the administrator of the home.
And I'm Ward Oram. Hold up, wait a minute. I am Ward Oram, CEO of the home, and I've been here 48 years. Thank you. What a joy it is to stand here today and celebrate not just one, but two incredible milestones. The grand reopening of our beautifully renovated assisted living community and the opening of a brand new 93 low-income apartment building for independent seniors. And might I add, it is aptly named the Louise on Western. For more than 87 years, the Lisner Louise Dixon Hurt Home has been a haven for Washington, D.C. elders in need, and it is a testament to our founder's vision that we are here celebrating this remarkable moment. Thank you, Abe and Laura.
The journey has truly been a labor of love. It's a bit like having twins. Exciting, exhausting, and occasionally unpredictable. There were moments when we wondered if we would ever have a delivery date. And I think a few of us even considered asking for an epidural. But now that we're here, seeing these two beautiful babies side by side, every challenge feels like it was completely worthwhile.
Both of these buildings are dedicated to serving low-income seniors. Sorry, I get teary. People who deserve comfort, dignity, and community in the latter chapters of their lives. That's what makes this moment so meaningful. Sorry. Because together, we're not just building structures, we're building opportunity, we're building care, and we're building belonging.
To our residents and families, your patience, understanding, and good humor through all the noise, dust, and detours kept us going. And to our amazing staff, you worked tirelessly through every twist and turn, often with more grace than sleep and more caffeine than water. To Vicki Davis, Chris Vernick, and Ryan Culberson, our wonderful partners at Urban Atlantic who embrace our missions, we thank you.
A special thank you goes out to Brian Hanlon, Director of Department of Buildings, and his deputy, Nicole Rogers, for their quick response when Lord knows we needed your assistance. To Eric Herman with Klein Hornick, many thanks for your legal support. And as well, we are exceedingly grateful to John Matteo and David Ranis with Jackson and Campbell for providing us every inch of legal support. We wouldn't be here today, and I think the Urban Atlantic team would echo this sentiment, were it not for our friends Michael, Brad, and Gia with Winsec and Associates, our architects who made this extraordinary campus sing. Our buildings blend beautifully, and they have been of utter support when times got rough. Yep, sorry. Also, excuse me, I didn't turn page. A big thank you to our dear friend Chapman Todd of JDOT, who has been an ally of the home for Lord knows how many years, and our Light Tech consultant on behalf of the home.
And of course, a heartfelt thank you to Mayor Bowser and to Council Member Fruman. Whose vision and support helped turn this dream into reality. Your partnership and belief in this community have made a powerful difference.
In particular, we want to thank all of our capital campaign donors featured on the remarkable wall as you come into the lobby, and also our boards of directors of the Lisner home, the Louise home, the Dixon, Hurt, and Shoemaker homes. You have truly supported us and inspired us to reach for the skies. We are here today with gratitude to the visionaries who invested in the future of the Lisner, Louise, Dixon, Hurt home, and our promise of equity, our promise of inclusion, our promise of dignity in aging.
A special thank you goes to Ward Oram, our CEO. Who spearheaded this project from beginning to end. Ward, your leadership, vision, and persistence turned blueprints into big dreams and into the beautiful reality we have today.
Okay, I can't let that go, sorry. And in turn, we could not have created this amazing, all-encompassing community. It is a true community of care and compassion without Sue Hargraves, our administrator. This campus is forever marked with her true essence of love and respect for elders.
Thanks, Ward. Now, as we look around, we see more than buildings. We see homes, places where laughter will echo, friendships will blossom, and lives will continue to grow and thrive. So this morning, as we cut this ribbon, we're not just opening doors, we're opening hearts. Thank you to each and every one of you for helping bring these two beautiful children into the world. Let's watch them grow together. Ward, we're supposed to sing.
Good morning. And I again, too, welcome you to the beautiful campus of the Lisner, Louise, Dixon, Hurt, and Shoemaker home. Now, I thought, Ward, you told me I had 45 minutes to speak. And I worked hard this weekend to cut my speech down to 42 minutes. But then I got the program released, as he said, 4 to 5 minutes. But my name is Robert Cooper, and I have the awesome and distinct honor of serving as the president and chairman of the board of the Lisner home. Now, I came on the board about 12, 13 years ago or so, having served as its counsel many, many years ago when I did the community outreach and zoning for the western, the wing of the western part of the home here. But when I joined the board, Ward and Sue had a vision which we kicked around for a couple of years, and a vision of expanding the home to ensure that our mission of service and providing dignified housing to the elderly and infirm residents of the District of Columbia would continue on for future generations. We were having a little tough time at that time. Now, we had the land and we had the ideas, but we didn't have the money. So little did we know that we would also face a pandemic, a recession, political and financial unrest, threats to Medicare, Medicaid, and the social safety net that so many of the residents of the District of Columbia, our elderly residents, rely upon on a daily basis. And of course, that we had an unexpected waterfall that would destroy this building, our primary structure, and our administrative areas, further complicating and delaying our plans. But like we have over the years, we face these adversities head on. Thanks to our superb and dedicated staff and administrators led by Ward and Sue, we were actually prepared much better than most for the pandemic. Now, the board initially questioned that huge truckload of gloves, face masks, and sanitizer that they ordered in January of 2019. We're like, what is going on? Well, we soon found out when the mayor said, shut everything down. And thank God we did, because we had the supplies we needed in advance of the onslaught. So that, again, was forward thinking. So we had a financial team led by the board and our financial consultants that saw us through those lean months and years when our cash flow ground down to just a trickle. Forward thinking. We have a family of combined boards that consistently support our needs and goals and have for many years. Forward thinking. We have friends on Pennsylvania Avenue. Of course, I'm talking about on the Wilson Building. I'm just saying. Our wonderful and supportive mayor, who offered her vision of expanding housing opportunities throughout all 8 wards of the city in a public-private partnership. Absolutely. And, of course, our very own Ward 3 council member, Matt Fruman, who I succeeded here as the Lisner chairman. He laid the groundwork for this. And finally, we've leaned on you, the donors, the supporters, the volunteers, and the organizations like the Caffords Foundation and Amazon and my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi. Some of the brothers in here. Nope. Good man. And all the volunteers who helped us raise the funds we so desperately needed these last few years to not only ensure we continued our operations at the highest award-winning levels of care, but to complete these 2 massive projects on time, kinda, but on budget, kinda. Now, just doing one such project would drive most people crazy, but since we were already crazy, we had no choice but to embark on both at the same time. And we're so happy to be able to showcase both of them here today to you, aside our primary development partner, Urban Atlantic, which we have such admiration for, and our architect, Mike Winsek. And aren't you glad I recommended Mike to this project? Again, I'm just saying. So sadly, like so many other institutions, the doors of the Lisner home were historically always open to every resident of the District of Columbia. But I can assure you that these doors are open and will continue to be open to all, regardless of race, sex, or religion. With these new facilities opening on our campus, we will continue to be able to provide the best and highest level of care and dignified housing to those in need for many years to come. So with that, again, I say thank you. So again, the Board of Directors thanks you for your past support of the home and our mission. Although we just completed a very successful Securing Tomorrow fundraising campaign, we still need your continued financial support. I'm not going to let that slip by. We've got some things around. The QR codes are all around the house here. And we need that support for our continued operations, the activities, the joint activities that we will be sharing with the home and the Louise, and to rebuild our endowment, which we had to hit hard. And so no amount is too small. So please consider a generous donation. And as an incentive, we still have a few naming rights around this place that we can add you to the list and put your name and a plaque on something around here. It's a hallway or even a bench. But seriously, folks, I just say thank you for all of your support and the future support that we hope to rely upon. And we hope you enjoy the tours and the balance of the program. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the daughter of the lovely Miss Comfort, who is the belle of the Lisner home, Miss Nikki Belfour, who will introduce you to our esteemed leader of the District of Columbia, the mayor, the Honorable Muriel Bowser.
Good morning. Good morning. It's an honor to be here today to celebrate the beautifully renovated and expanded services of the Lisner Louise Dixon Hurt Home. My name is Nikki Belfiore, and I am a native Washingtonian. Washington, D.C. is a great city in which to grow up, go to school, raise a family, and have a career. It's also a great city in which to age. My mother, Sandra Comfer, has been a proud resident of the Lisner home for almost 3 years. Like so many families in Washington, D.C., we struggled to find affordable assisted living close to home. I learned of this extraordinary resource, the Lisner home, rooted in more than a century of compassion, founded through the generosity of philanthropy, sustained by donors, and staffed by those with a personal mission of service. It seemed perfect for my mom. My mother's new efficiency is bright, cheerful, decorated with her own art and personal belongings. Yet, throughout the renovations, moments of turmoil and uncertainty, over the past year at Lisner, she received the same level of individualized attention, personal care, service, and support that she's receiving now due to the extraordinary staff and unique Lisner community. She and I are so lucky. So this ribbon cutting is not just about a new space, a new building. It represents our Washington, D.C. values. We value our elders. We believe affordable, high-quality assisted living should not be a privilege. It should be a promise. Washington, D.C. is a great city in which to age, thanks in part to the Lisner Louise Dixon Hurt Home. With that promise in mind, it is my great honor to introduce a leader who has championed affordable housing, senior services, and equity in every ward of our city. Mayor Muriel Bowser is the 7th elected mayor of Washington, D.C. She has served her hometown in elected office since 2004. Since taking office, Mayor Bowser has sped up affordable housing production, diversified the D.C. economy, overseen consistent enrollment growth across district schools, increased satisfaction in city services, refocused our efforts around achieving statehood, and invested in programs and policies that allow more families to live and thrive in our city. Mayor Bowser guided Washington, D.C. through COVID-19, through racial justice protests. She issued over $2 billion in unemployment, rent, and business relief, and secured federal reimbursement. She drafted recovery and growth strategies to ensure D.C.'s post-pandemic success. Mayor Bowser is committed to an equity agenda through investment in D.C. small businesses. She also created the first ever Office of Racial Equity, Office of Gun Violence Prevention, expanded the Mayor Marion S. Berry Summer Youth Employment Program to young people up to age 24, and funded the first ever Black Homeownership Fund. Mayor Bowser is also the proud mother of Miranda. She and Miranda call Ward 4 home. Please join me in welcoming Mayor of the District of Columbia, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Let's hear it for our musicians. Give them a big round of applause. I want to thank everyone for being here, and I especially want to say a warm welcome to our residents who are here. Give them a big round of applause. I want to thank Ward and Sue for their vision and leadership. Is that in the dictionary, Ward and Sue? Sue and Ward, just for your infectious energy, your vision, and what is obvious is your love for the residents here and for ensuring that everyone can enjoy their later years in a wonderful home with caring people and with the respect that they have earned. Give them a big round of applause. And I've been to a lot of ribbon cuttings over the years. And I always know the people who have spent sleepless nights making phone calls, wringing hands, wondering if it would come through, because they indeed look like they have had twins. And I want to congratulate you on delivering these two beautiful girls. So I think many of you know, I know this home well because my grandmother lived here, and she is kind of the picture, I think, of the people you want and are able to be served here. She didn't have a lot in life, but she had a great family, including her granddaughter who became mayor of Washington, D.C. And my mother, I don't even know how, she found her way here, and she talked to all of us, and she said, this is the place for Mama. I called her Grandma Jenny, and Grandma Jenny was sometimes a handful, but she loved it here, and she loved that she could set her own way and be respected and be close to us. So for my grandmother's late last years, thank you very much. I know, you guys are tough to follow. Let me also talk about my twins. And my twins are affordable housing in Washington, D.C. So many years ago, we made the promise that we would do more than has ever been done in D.C., and it turns out we've done more than has been done in the country per capita to invest in affordable housing. And part of that strategy, and Matt Fruman is a great partner in this, and I know that Matt was one of those people wringing hands and watching the baby be born. So give it up for your council member, Matt Fruman. So we have, in the last 10 years, invested more than $1.5 billion in the Housing Production Trust Fund. Sometimes we use that number for affordable housing, but when you add up everything else, it's a lot more. But just in our one very effective tool, the Housing Production Trust Fund, we've invested $1.5 billion. In this project here at the Lisner home represents our first Housing Production Trust Fund investment west of the park. This project represents how important it is for us to have affordability in all 8 wards. It recognizes that one ward should not have all of the fund, but all wards should get the type of investment, not just in dollars, but in outstanding architecture and building and programming that is offered here. And speaking of having all of those things available, my whole team has been committed to this strategy and delivering for seniors across the city. I want to first recognize my Deputy Mayor, Nina Albert, who's the Deputy Mayor of Economic Development, the Director of DHCD, that's our Housing and Community Development Office, Director Colleen Green, who's right up here. I heard Brian Hanlon, and you'll always notice he has a W on his head. And Brian is our outstanding Director of the Department of Buildings. Please give him a big round of applause. As well as Rachel Pierre, who is the Director of the DC Human Services Agency. And Director Chiron Hines, who is the Director of the Department of Aging and Community Living. So give them a big round of applause. So I'd hoped also to be able to talk about how we are going to make sure that vulnerable DC residents continue to be supported in, what shouldn't be happening. Our government should be open. We all know that. And we know that the Congress and the president can fix it. And so we're calling on them to open our government, because when Americans aren't served, Americans suffer. And there is no larger concern for us than food security and health care. And we know that both are on the table. Our Attorney General yesterday joined with attorneys generals from other states in demanding in court that the federal government pay for SNAP. We are hopeful that they are ordered to do so after a hearing tomorrow. And at that time, I will have more to say about what the government can do, our government can do to make sure that our residents are supported with food. And when I say residents, I mean all people are included in that category: seniors, children, people who are trying to get to self-sufficiency, and especially in the holiday season, we want to make sure people are supported. So with that, I want to say thank you for including me. Thank you for this vision, for what you have been able to do here. And let it be a model. Let people look around who have the means and vision and who have over a century been able to attract philanthropic dollars, say to themselves, boards of directors, leaders of these organizations, we have land. We have a great program. We have a vision. We have a reach beyond the DC government, and we can put it to use. Let this home be a model. Matt Fruman, come on up and talk about your vision.
I have to say, it is so great to be here today for this event. It is such a wonderful milestone, and the music to kick it off was totally wonderful. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say this morning, I was thinking they picked one Beatles song and Celebrate, hard to top that. But when I think of the home, I think of the Beatles song, All You Need Is Love. Love is all you need. And the thing about this place is it is filled with love. You've heard it from a number of different speakers, from Laura Lisner, who had the idea that she wanted to make sure that the women she worked with on the shop floor at the Palais Royal had a place that they could thrive in their older years, to the incredible work of Ward and Sue over decades with this institution, to the board, Robert, Chris Tawa, Marnie Kagan, and the whole Tabriner family. The Tabriner family, and let's pause for the board and the Tabriner family, who for decades have held this place up and brought it into a great future. So all you need is love, sort of. But it's also good to have a good, solid building that's warm and safe for you to live. And that is what we've been able to produce here. And in order to get there, you also need a mayor who is completely dedicated to housing as many of our residents as well as possible with the dedication of enormous resources and energy at every step of the way. Can we give it up for our mayor? I got to say, for me, like, this is personal. I spent a number of years on this board, chair of the board for a number of years, was here and chair of the board when we landed that first Housing Production Trust Fund project, worked with a great team to get us halfway there, and then others picked it up. But for me, you just got to indulge me as I savor this moment, because it is such an achievement. And when the mayor talks about let it be a model, part of the model was we wanted to create a continuum of care for middle and lower income seniors, like the kind of care that wealthier people experience. And that's what you have here. You have independent living, you have assisted living, you have nursing care. It is one of a kind. It is phenomenal. And for all of those people involved to know that hundreds, thousands of seniors over the life of these buildings are going to have their lives transformed, filled with love and comfort because of what we all, and with the mayor's support, were able to get done. And so we've gone through a list of different folks who need to be thanked. Warden Sue, top of the list, the board, Chris Tao, who was my predecessor, who's been so key to this, Robert Gordon, who's been so key to this, Marnie Kagan, who's been so key to this. There's other folks who've been listed. Chris Vernick at Urban Atlantic, a phenomenal job that he's done. Chapman Todd couldn't have gotten there without Chapman. I want to pause for one moment. His name's come up, but Michael Winsek, our architect, what a phenomenal job Michael has done with a vision for this campus. Can we give Michael a round of applause? And then first among equals on that list is going to be our next speaker, Vicki Davis of Urban Atlantic. And well, give me a second here, Vicki. It's going to be a little more complicated than that. So, I mean, what a force of nature Vicki Davis is. Incredible intellect, incredible energy. I think she wears out a lot of people, I got to say. I don't know how many times we had a situation where Vicki would say, oh, I had this great idea, and here it is on a napkin. And she'd map out, here's how we can improve the garage. And I think all of us felt like, God help us, make it stop. But it always made it better. And here we are today. We're going to tour. We're going to see a magnificent building. It could not have happened without Vicki's energy and intellect and our patience. But I give you Vicki Davis. Congratulations, Vicki.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. Good morning to you, our Lisner, Louise, Dixon, Hurt Home community. We're all grateful for your help in achieving this important milestone. It's a brand new start for all of us in this community. I have a quote from Margaret Mead that I thought was most apt for this group. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. I think this perfectly describes the Lisner family, its board, our city leadership, and our neighbors. And Dr. Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do what is right. You have heard about our mayor, but I don't think that most people see her in the context of the rest of the United States. Our mayor is dedicated to serving our citizens and creating affordable housing in all wards of the city, not just in concentrations of poverty, but in all wards. This is really unique. It's really different. You don't see this in any other state. No other state than the state of the District of Columbia. Even more important than the vision is her commitment to building a strong government team who gets business done in D.C. I have a long list, and it would be my strong preference that the people on this list either raise your hand, stand up, step forward, so that you can be recognized, because this takes a community, it takes a village. And so I'm going to go through the list. I'm your last speaker, so just be patient. But I'm going to start with Director Colleen Green and the DHCD team, who allocate resources and make them... Come on, help me out. A big thank you to you for awarding the tax credits, the HPTF, and leading the process to closing. Director Chris Donald and the DCHFA team for issuing the bonds and working through a very complex structure. None of this is easy. DCHA Director Keith Pettigrew and the DCHA team for issuing the local rent subsidy and approving all eligible residents so quickly. And I'm just going to tell you, this is the fastest lease-up I see. Hammer Gabrias, raise your hand. She is a lady who gets it done, always. The Department of Buildings Director Brian Hanlon and his staff, including Nicole Rogers, I call them the dream team, who have a great team of all disciplines. Imagine that, all disciplines, to get permitting done efficiently and make buildings happen. And they did that here. Brian? DHS, Permanent Supportive Housing Team, for serving our most vulnerable seniors find their homes quickly. And I'm going to tell you, this was the quickest lease-up of DHS in the entire city ever. It's unbelievable. The DC Green Bank for providing the ultimate gap financing for DC state credits and helping make our city the greenest in the country. Who here knew that this is the greenest city in the entire country? Because it is. Capital One, Ed Delaney, and the community finance team for giving us our construction loan, Boston Financial and Steve Napolitano for syndicating our tax credits and investing in the Louise, the National Housing Trust. We couldn't have done this without you. Priya Jakasandrian is a direct neighbor of this community and provided the pre-development funds for both of the twins that helped us get this done. Rise Impact for buying our state credits. Amazon for funding services to our seniors, Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust, our permanent lender. And then it comes to the real genius behind this effort. Winsec and Associates. Michael Winsec, you have to say one little thing to him, and it's like, you know what we want here, right? And he'll just say, oh, yes, I do. And then he'll just draw it. Right, so he has seen a lot of napkins in his day. But he had the vision for this, and he helped pull this team together. Carl and Brad on his team. Wiles Mensch, our engineers, for getting the site to work, because it is a challenge. Believe me, it's one of the greenest sites you'll see, but it was a challenge. The Bizzuto construction team, Mark Wiesner and his team, for building a great building. And very importantly, our partners at the Lisner home, Ward and Sue and Robert Cooper and Matt Fruman and the board. I have so much gratitude for your passion that you bring to your every single day of work, sometimes on weekends too. And I also think it's important for people to know that people who volunteer their time, like sometimes that's just window dressing, but that's not the case here. Chris Tawa and Christine Hobbs sat through endless meetings with us, and they told us every bit of expertise that they had, phenomenal leading industry expertise, senior government, federal government employees who came and gave their ideas and made this happen. It's unbelievable what they did. And then finally, to my urban Atlantic family, Chris Vernick and Ryan Culberson, I tried like hell to get them up to the front of this room, and they wouldn't do it. But they're here, and I wish that they would come forward. They really made this happen on a day-to-day basis, and they love this building, and they love our residents who are in the building. Kelly Brooks, Kevin Gensler, Jill Boyd, Alan Letterman, and finally, my partners of 28 years, Scott Nordheimer and Lois Freed. It's an amazing family. We don't do any of this alone. I get to stand up at the front of the room, but it's really not me. The last people I'd like to thank is actually probably the most important, and that's the citizens of this city, the ANCs who represent them, our direct neighbors. And I'll just tell you that our neighbors are here. I can see Rebecca in the back. And she let me know how ugly my first designs were. And that's okay, because that's what you want, right? And Rebecca, raise your hand so we know where you are. And had suggestions on how to make it better. Turn it around, turn it upside down, open it to the community. And it made a heck of a difference. It made this building better. Finally, to Win Property Management, Shawnee Wilcox and her team, who have leased up all but the last 10 units here in 3 months. All but the last 10. I'd like to end with a quote for our seniors, who this is all about. And this quote is from Carl Sandburg. Old age is a special kind of freedom. It is a great reminder that by welcoming our seniors into the community, we are giving them the freedom to live fully and vibrantly in a supportive community. Thank you very much.
5,